Welcome back to this very special broadcast on Newsx, the Bharat Progress Report. And we're back with the 101 milestones, and for the next 25 minutes I will be discussing the biggest milestones in governance and culture. Joining me on the broadcast is Shantanu Gupta, author and political analyst, and Sumir Peer, political commentator, with us as well. So let me begin with the first milestone in governance and culture. We're talking about milestone number 67. 660 million devotees attended the Maha Kumbh Mela this year. Let me begin with Shantanu. Shantanu, when we talk about those numbers, what is the precedent that India has now set with the execution of the Maha Kumbh Mela?
I think that is the biggest gathering on earth that ever happened since the inception of the earth. And you can compare with this number of 66 crore with the elections. So 2024 elections have 64 crore voters, right? And 64 crore voters voted how much? Like maybe 500 meters or 1 kilometer from their house. Now 66 crore Indians from West Bengal to Tamil Nadu to Maharashtra to Odisha, from 500,000 to 2,000 kilometers, they all came to Prayagraj because Narendra Modi, because Yogi Adityanath called them, right? So I think this is a mammoth number, and that gave a lot of people said, oh my God, government has spent so much money. How can a secular government spend so much money on a Hindu festival? There are 15,000 crore rupees spent. But later it found out, CIA and FICCI gave a report that generated an economy of more than 3 lakh crores. Right? And out of that 15,000 crores, 80 to 85% was permanent infrastructure of Prayagraj, right? And Prayagraj has become almost like the top 50 towns of India in the process. So yeah, you said phenomenal, and India has taken a giant leap, and UP government have almost invited 30 research think tanks from Harvard to Cambridge to Oxford to TIS to IIT, and all those organizations have given their reports on different aspects from infrastructure to crowd management to AI to law and order to the dharmic aspect to the culture aspect. All the reports are being submitted and they'll be published. That'll be a huge database of research that's coming out of it. So phenomenal feat that we all face in our lifetime. I think we all are lucky, and I was there in the Kumbh for 30 days. I feel myself lucky that I spent 30 days out of the 45 days of Prayag Kumbh 2025. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing to hear that, and hopefully you had as good a time as everyone else who visited had as well. But let's come to milestone number 68. Sumit, right to housing has been declared as a fundamental right by the Supreme Court, and this of course is in the larger context of several housing issues that have arisen in India. We also have a lot of builder-buyer conflicts that are going on. So amidst all of that, the Supreme Court intervening and actually declaring right to housing as a fundamental right. What does that say about where India is headed?
Thank you for having me on your show, Devkaji. When the country is progressing, you have to look at the development at a holistic perspective. And when you are the third biggest economy in the world, which we are going to happen in a matter of few months, you're already number 3 by the purchase power parity, and the Asia Power Index ranks you as a superpower with 40 points and the highest, third most lethal military in the world. Now, when you talk of a holistic development, you are building the highest number of roads in the world. When your highways and railways is more than what is built in United States of America, which is 4 or 5 times our size. And when you're the world's populous country, and yet your GDPs are accelerating at the fastest pace in the world, and you are the world's 4th largest foreign exchange reserve. Now, when I look at the context of development and Har Ghar Nal, and the kind of data we consume, that smartphone penetration, when I look at the 5G rollouts, which are the fastest in the world, now in that perspective, you cannot have Juggi Jhopdi, you cannot have those shanties, you cannot have those permanent, semi-permanent kind of those छप्पर जिसे हिंदी में कहते हैं, as what we call as a गरीब का घर. So what the Honorable Supreme Court says, and what it has been initiated by the Pradhan Mantri's, Awas Yojana, wherein crores and crores of people got houses. So the Honorable Supreme Court also looked at it and said, like, why don't we do one thing? Why don't we make it as a fundamental right, like education, right to education, right to health is a fundamental right. Right where the right to house is a fundamental right, because now the country is there The government is there. Within last 11 years, the Modi government, Yogi Adityanath ji and others have given the vision wherein this mega dream, which was considered to be impossible, has been done. Because how do I come up with something called a basic right when I see the precedents? When I have seen these many crores given the houses, when I have seen 30 crore people lifted from the poverty, when I have seen we are getting number one, number two, and number four in almost all the industries, all major 25 industries of the world, when we are controlling 40% of the food grain of the world. Now, at that point, I get emboldened. I am, gun go. I say, hey guys, why don't we come and say housing is the basic right of everybody? And when I mean housing, it doesn't mean a juggi, it doesn't mean a shanty, it doesn't mean a jugad, it doesn't mean a mitti ki chat and gas ki diwar. And with due respects, that has been our culture. I'm not trying to demean it, but we mean a pakki chat. We mean a house which has a kitchen, which has a washroom, which has a proper living area, and it says possibly one room. A pakka makan, so called, is the basic right of living, and in an organized society and colony with access to civil amenities like health, electricity, and all. That is what common India on the last Indian in the last Danchi of a Rajasthan or a Tamil Nadu or in Arunachal. Danchi is the last village, what we typically call a Rajasthani. That is what they should be entitled to, and that is what they should have. This is what is the vision, and this is the vision which fundamentally changes India. Because go into one of those Hollywood movies, what will they show India? They will show typically a Juggi Jomti. Look at the Slumdog Millionaire. What will they project? Juggi Jomti.
Yes.
Now, though that was the stereotyping, that was unfortunately the stereotyping. Though if I look at macroeconomic parameters, we are much better than even United States of America and some of the parameters. But how to get rid of that stereotyping? Because seeing is believing. When you see something, you tend to believe something. In
Yes.
next years, we will never ever see such visions or visuals in India. That is where the vision is, Devika ji.
Okay, talking about visuals, milestone number 69, India celebrated 150 years of the national song Vande Mataram, and of course there was a heated debate in the parliament as well, but a lot of learning from that debate as well. But milestone number 70, the construction of the Ram temple in Ayodhya is now complete. Shantanu, bringing you back into the conversation on that note, construction of the Ram temple now complete. How does that really now open up further opportunities in Ayodhya?
So I think two major milestones in 2024, 22nd January, the Ram temple was inaugurated, and we all saw the beautiful divine vigrah of Ramlala, created by Arun Yogiraj. And I think India changed that day. That was a huge battle. And I was commenting with the channel next to Saryu that day. And on the screen, we all saw Amish Tripathi was next to me, a couple of other journalists. We all saw that huge vigrah. And we all were teary-eyed because we were doing TV debate from last many years, from 2016, 17, 18. And if I touch my heart, frankly speaking, I thought it will always be a TV debate. I thought it'll be a book, a PhD thesis, maximum a TV series. I never thought I saw the Ram Vigrah with my naked eyes. And by the time we were seeing the statue, we saw a helicopter going above us, and it was showering rose petals. And the Saryu bed near me became red. It gave me a juxtaposition that Saryu became red in 1990s also with the blood of Ram Bhakts, and Saryu became red again with the flowers showered on Ram Bhakts. That's how India has changed drastically. And now recently, the Ram temple is complete. A lot of people has a problem, oh my God, Ram temple is not complete. Now the Ram temple is complete. The dhwaja in on it, जिसे हम हिंदी में कहते हैं झंडे गाड़ दिए. So dhwaja in on it, a historical dhwaja in on it. And you will see, I go to Ayodhya very often, that reverse migration is started happening in Ayodhya. Multiple hotels are coming in Ayodhya, multiple guides are coming in Ayodhya. From taxi, because now there's an international airport, there's a beautiful railway station there. So from taxi people, from auto people, from e-rickshaw people, to restaurant people, chota restaurant, bada restaurant, big hotels, all the big hotel chains are coming there. From the puja samagri to pandit, multiple jobs, creating thousands and thousands of jobs. Only the Choti Deepavali, where Yogi Adityanath government is creating Guinness Book after Guinness Book records by lighting 25 lakh diyas, 26 lakh diyas, just generating multiple jobs. So not only Ayodhya, I remember in 2019 when the verdict came, someone tweeted on my Twitter handle, quoting me, that ho gaya aapka Ram Mandir, bhai, can we talk economy? And I replied, Ram Mandir is economy. Ram Mandir is economy. From last year, 2024 itself, 13.5 crore people came. Almost
Yes.
1.5 crore, more than what they came in Taj Mahal in Agra. And every person is spending thousand rupees to 5,000 rupees. That's adding huge to the Ayodhya economy.
Yes.
Last bit, I was in a Deloitte presentation, One Trillion Economy, and I see education technology, banking technology, and I saw thermonomics there. In a Deloitte presentation, you'll find that the religious economy is now adding 0.5 to 0.7% to UP's GDP, and similarly in other places in India. So that's a massive victory, cultural victory, and also मैं बार बार कहता हूँ राम जी की कृपा के साथ लक्ष्मी जी की कृपा भी हो रही है.
Right, absolutely. Okay, milestone 71. The first Archaeological Experiential Museum has been inaugurated in Vadnagar, Gujarat. It's again a huge boost to the economy of Gujarat, to the economy of Vadnagar, and the fact that it's important for us to have world-class museums in India. Not just for tourists, but for Indians themselves. Milestone number 72, viewers. The SHANTI Act was passed, allowing private participation in India's nuclear sector. A huge milestone as far as governance is concerned. Sumit Peer, what will this mean?
Talking of the development of the country, it is the development of the people, it's the development of the society, and it is the people from all walks of life who come and contribute. Now, nuclear technology was kept controlled by the government. Now, the government of the day, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, thought that when you talk of nuclear technology, when you talk of arms, when you talk of a lot of so-called strategic industry wherein the private players were not allowed to come, now the government thinks, if I am trusting an American company called Siemens or Motorola or XYZ, I am not taking names here for anything, why can't I trust Reliance Industries or Shantanu Gupta's company or a Sumit Peer's company for that? Why should I trust a Motorola or a Siemens more, an American, German or a French guy more than my own people? Because at the end of the day, the technology which was coming from Russia, from a lot of other people. So that thing was the conundrum was that if it is a foreigner and he might be a private company there, we trust you more. But if you are a local, if you are an Indian, sorry, we cannot trust you. It's very strategic in nature. Now that was a thought barrier which needed to be broken, and that is what has been broken. Because look, today in the space sector, Devika, we have been discussing, after the participation of the private sector, a lot of new milestones have come. We have a first private company which had launched a rocket, but they are launching a couple of them more. Now, if you look at SpaceX for that matter, it's again a private entity, right? And it is doing phenomenally well for itself and for the America. And, I remember once Vladimir Putin saying, I hope that, we had a couple of Elon Musk in Russia, we would be at a different place. So there are a lot of such people of such caliber there. But when and only when you open the doors, Look, we opened the doors for fintech. Today, fintech is one of the best what we have in the whole world. Why did it happen? We opened the doors. As long as I have seen those times, I used to go to a bank, sign a check, then he used to look at me, look at the check, then pull out my order, sign wali parchi, match the parchi, be in a line for 45 minutes, 1 hour, then get my 800 rupees. I have seen that. Now, from that day to today, what has changed? Because you get people involved, you get private sector involved, you make things easier, and you open the doors of the economy for the youth, you open the doors of the economy for the startups, and that is where the magic is going to come for. You are unleashing the potential of the youth of India, which is 70 million in number, which is 700 million in number, 700 million in number, which is the biggest in the world. So how can you keep the biggest part of the most youthful economy out of it? That is where the political vision comes, that is where the long-term vision comes. And trust me, Devika ji, you will see in a couple of years, there are going to be another revolutions. Each and every sector which we opened up, name me one sector where we have failed by getting private sector or opening it for the people of the India or the youth of India, not even one. And this sector is going to give us same results.
Okay, all right. We're left with 4 more critical milestones in the category of governance and culture. So I'll quickly go across to milestone number 73 now. We achieved 100% transition to the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita across all courts. That was critical because remember there was so much skepticism when the BNS was introduced. And of course, there were problems, there were ups and downs in terms of implementation. But the good news is that 2025 saw 100% transition to the BNS. Milestone number 74. The Bhashini AI platform, which is our indigenous platform, has enabled real-time voice-to-voice translations in all 22 scheduled languages. Shantanu Gupta, what really is, in your assessment, going to be the big use cases for our own indigenous AI platforms, especially for language and in a country as complex as India when it comes to languages?
No, you're right. In India, we say that every 60 kilometer, even the dialect of that particular language changes, right? And we have 22 scheduled languages from north to south. There are different languages, and we have seen a lot of political parties are just flourishing of language wars, right? Now they cannot no more run on language wars. Like you can speak into one language, you can speak in Tamil, and people will understand Hindi, and they can either vice versa. I can speak in Hindi, and a Tamil auto fellow, rickshaw fellow, trader will understand in Tamil, right? So beautiful innovation. And as we say, whatever the technology is, you should adapt to your country. And in our country, the major thing is language, right? And they are very complicated languages. And see, in human sciences, we'll say language is the biggest innovation any human race can do. And India as a country has done 22 languages. And these are the only languages which have scripts. There are multiple other languages which doesn't have a proper script. All the scripts are forgotten or lost or burnt in Nalanda or Takshila. So this is a beautiful innovation. I remember in Kumbh also, I'm sure that was also powered by Bhashini AI or some other AI tool. And the chat tool of the Kumbh app in Prayag was voice enabled and it was there available in 11, 12 languages. So you can speak into Tamil and ask about the next location, where the ghat is, where the food is, where the eye camp is, how to get the next plane, next flight, next bus. All of that was available in almost 11 to 12 languages. So there was a real use case for so many people that are traveling there. And I think in months to come, in years to come, from the mobile paying app to banks to flights to trains, this will be the most important app, I think, as it get further verified and it get further cleaned. I'm saying the language translation, like Google has become quite clean over years. I'm sure in these languages, Bhashini will also play multiple very important role.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm personally also very excited for some of the use cases as far as language translation is concerned. Coming to now milestone number 75, the Maratha Military Landscapes became India's 44th UNESCO World Heritage Site, and some stunning photographs available online, and we're also putting it out on our screens as we speak, viewers. It's an incredible achievement as far as appreciating our complex history and also the geography that has been gifted to us by our ancestors is concerned. So a very important milestone, number 75 of the Maratha Military Landscapes, which also somewhere pushes us to look into the might of the Maratha military. And last but not least, milestone number 76, the Bastar Olympics witnessed a record participation of 3.91 lakh players. Sumit Peer, if I were to pick some of my favorite milestones as far as 101 milestones are concerned, I can guarantee you the Bastar Olympics witnessing 3.91 lakh players has to be in my top 10 for 2025, especially the transformation that we're seeing taking place now in Bastar and other formerly red regions. Your thoughts?
I think, I very clearly remember when the Honorable Home Minister said that one of the biggest terror problems this country is facing is that red corridor. And recently I remember one of his speeches where it said that, कहते थे, पशुपति नाथ से तिरुपति तक, the Reds are dominating. They were typical laid down corridor. And he was very clear by March of 31st March of 26, there will be no districts left. I think there are only 2 districts left, and that's where they are more. Now, these people had established a parallel economy, they were controlling the development. They were not letting people develop. They were running this extortion, ransom, killings, abduction, everything. They were a law of its own. They ran a country of its own, and in the name of that Maoism or whatever they call those outdated communist philosophies. Now, these people did not understand the language of pyar. They only understood the language of gun, and for some time it was given an illusion and delusion that these people are much more powerful than the Republic of the India and than the military might of the India, and they are invincible. You cannot go, you cannot touch them, nobody can clean it up. Like with Mr. Amit Shah, when you give him a challenge, you cannot clean it up. He will make sure that he will prove you wrong. That goes with Modi ji also, like 370 and all. Now, where are those Reds gone? Now, if you talk of this kind of Olympic, where you have around 4 lakh people coming in a village in that area, you could not do a shadi. You could not do a sagai without their approval. You have to pay the money to do a shadi. Otherwise, they will not let you have one. Imagining 4 lakh people coming and nobody will come to disturb you and disrupt you. Who on earth will dare to come for 4 lakh people? Will never dare to come there because they know some of them will be killed. We have seen some of the horrific and horrible, ambushes what they have done. But very recently, Ye Mar Gaya, that leader, I think somebody killed a couple of days back. 2.1 crore was the reward on the person. So now we are reaching to the pinnacle of the organization. We are eliminating them and we are liberating those people which have been held on under their shackles. The independence might have come to for 75 years back. Now under this Modi regime, we are really getting the freedom. They are really getting liberated. Devika ji, for them there was
Yes.
nothing more than that Maowadi commander who was the gospel God and the gospel truth. Whatever he would say, that was the word. Now that aura is being dismantled, which persisted from generation to generation. Now on the same land, we can have a mega event where 4 lakh players can come. That is the message of normalcy. That is getting back to the business, and that is
Absolutely.
shattering all the myths of invincibility what they had built.
Absolutely. The fact that people are now feeling safe to come out and participate in what is, or rather what would be very usual and regular conventions, very regular sort of moments in other parts of India, and that normalcy is coming to Bastar and regions around it. On that note, I've completely run out of time, but I thank both of our panelists for joining us to take this particular conversation forward. Viewers, the remaining 25 milestones coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.